Hey, welcome to 60 Minutes with PD. It's good to be back. I've been away for a week and I am back, and it really feels really good to be back. So, how are we doing out there, people? Yes, welcome. Yes, how are you? How are you? How are you? Yes, welcome to 60 Minutes with PD. Hi, Ades. How are you doing? Good to see you. Yes, how are you? How are you? Binta, good to see you again. How's it going? How's it going? Yes, how are we? Miss Tonia and Ami Qatar. Hi, Gloria. How are you doing? And B. Ushbird. How are you doing? Good to see you all. Let me throw a few waves at a few people. How are we doing, people? Welcome to 60 Minutes with PD as we load on a couple more people. Hi, Gloria. How are you doing? Hi, Ami Qatar. Binta, thumbs up. Femi, hi, Femi Tidine. How are you, Paragon? How are you doing, people? So good to see you all. Yes. I missed you all last week. I really did. Good to see you, every single person. How are we today? So welcome to 16 Minutes with PD, your fastest moving 60 minutes of the day, okay? It's every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. right here at PIDI 19. Please follow me right here. It's never enough, but it's going to be okay. I'm always back and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. While I'm here, please feel free. Ask me any question that you have on relationships, on marriage, on life, and I will do my best to answer. Thank you for everybody that's reached out to me for counseling. I hope everything is going well. I've counseled a ton of people. I hope our marriages are going fine. Hope our relationships are doing even better. So how are we doing? Today's topic is in-law business. One more time, I'll say it. Today's topic is in-law business. And you're either you either have in-laws, you will have in-laws, you're going to be an in-law, or so one way or the other, we are going to be engaged in this in-law business. So it's a topic for every single person, whether you're married or not. You will have in-laws, you will be an in-law, you will, so let's get into this. So we need to know how to make the best of our in-laws. We need to know how to be good in-laws ourselves when it's our turn to be in-laws. We need to know how to raise our children to be good in-laws. It's interesting that raising children has a lot to do with everything, because at the end of the day, if a man is a good husband or he's a good husband or not, he was raised by a woman, and most times it's how he was raised, that he's reflecting, that he's, the values that he was raised with is what he is playing out with the person that he's with right now. So we have a duty to make sure that we raise our children, both men and women, raise our children, to be good husbands and eventually to be good in-laws. This is 60 Minutes with PD. It's relationships that are worked on that work. I'll say it one more time. It's relationships that are worked on that work. Delete. How are you? Good to see you. I saw all the likes. That was really great. La Cristal, how are you doing? I know who you are. Yes, how are you all doing? Now, please follow me right here at PIDI 19 if you're not following me already. And please recommend me to your friends. Really do. I mean, there's like millions of people out there. Please recommend me to your friends. Let them follow me. Let's all of us be blessed as we do relationships and marriages together. So there are a lot of in-law stories out there, both good and bad. And truly, as we speak tonight, not all in-laws are bad. I want to state that as a fact. Not all in-laws are bad. There are some in-laws that are wonderful. They just adopt you as one of their own, and they love on you, they protect you, they speak over you, they embrace you, and you really feel loved. So these in-laws exist. So as we speak tonight, and we're speaking about other types of in-laws, let's know that we're not assuming that all in-laws are bad. So I've put my disclaimer out there. I hope that you've received it well. So that is good. So there are some in-laws that truly struggle to accept you as a child. And I'll say this one more time. There are many in-laws, some in-laws out there who, even though you've married their child, you've become a part of the family, but they are struggling to accept you as their own. They see you like you've come to take away something from them, which we'll get into in a few minutes. So they're not looking at you with a lot of love because you've come into the family, they haven't received you, and they are trying to keep you as an outsider, which they can't, because to be quite frank, you've married into the family, you are a member of the family, but you've got in-laws that struggle with giving you that membership. Okay, there are so many factors responsible for what type of in-law a person becomes. So many factors responsible for what type of in-laws that people become. How are you people? Please send me some questions. Please, let's make this interactive. Ask me some questions. Let's have some feedback. Hi, Awura, how are you doing? Great, that was a nice wave. Okay, so many things are responsible for what kind of in-laws that we are. Most in-laws are good people. I said this before. They just happen to have been caught in a selfish mindset. Now, we're going to talk about mindset here because what in-laws are struggling with, it's what's in their mind. The way they're perceiving things, perceiving you, it's a mindset. So there's a bad in-law mindset, Hi, B. Ashbird. How are you? Hi. How's it going? Good to hear from you. So, it's a selfish mindset that they catch themselves in, and they can't get out of it. There is something I call the bad in-law mindset. So tonight we're going to look at the bad in-law mindset and the good in-law mindset. And this is the root of the mindset. The bad in-law mindset sees you as someone who has come to take their child from them. They do not see you as an addition to the family. This is the root cause of bad in-law mentality. They see you as a usurper of their child's love and attention to them. So basically, they've been receiving love and attention from their child. Now you've come. They see you as a person who's come to take away the love that their son or their child gives them, the attention. They just see you that you've come here to take away that love, the attention, the money, the resources, whatever that child is doing for them. They see you coming to dilute it, either to take it away from them completely or to reduce it. So they have this the bottle is half empty mentality. It's like if I give you a bottle and the water is at the middle of the bottle, if I tell you to look at it and tell me what do you see, people have two things that they see. Either they see the bottle as half full or they see the bottle as half empty. Now, these bad in-law mindset people, they're the people that see the bottle as half empty. They're looking at the negative possibilities. So they see you like you've come there to take the love of their son away from them, to take away the attention of their son away from them, you've come away to take the son's money and resources away from them. And they find it difficult to change their mentality. But we're going to look into it today and we'll see what we can do about that. Therefore, you are an enemy, or at the very least, you are competition. So when they see you, that's why most times it's like, what have I done to my in-law? What can I do better? They're just never satisfied. The issue is that you are not the problem. And that's it. They have an issue with the way that they perceive you. And, there's a little bit you can do about it, but not much. So there's got to be ways that you can have boundaries and protect yourself and work in unity with your spouse to make sure that the in-law does not get to you and do anything to you that they shouldn't do to you. Okay? And I'll say this right off the bat. Spouses have got to protect their spouse from their parents. So it's like you can't expect me to get into contention with your parents. So if your parents are having a problem with me, it's actually your problem. So you have to take it up with your parents and get them to back off me. And if my parents were on your case, then it would be my responsibility to get on their case to back off you. So this is something that we need to just clarify really clearly. No matter what the issue is, you've got to support your spouse and fight for them before your parents who are their in-laws. Are we good? Did we get that? Okay, so they see you as coming to divert their son's money that was supposed to come to them. They don't like you because you have come to share in the money and resources that their son was giving them. They don't like you because before you came to divert their son's love and attention from them, they had their son to themselves. They want to hold on to all of their son's love, money, and attention. They struggle to like you because of what they think you stand for. So do you just get this? They see you as somebody coming in to compete with them for their son's love, attention, and money. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Do I have any comments about what I've just said? Anybody at all? How are we doing? Yes. So they want to hold on to their son's son's everything. Many times you're thinking, what have I done wrong? Why don't they like me? What did I do? The truth is that you've done nothing wrong. So I want to tell this to a lot of spouses out there. If your in-laws don't like you, you have done nothing wrong. Most of the time, you really haven't done anything wrong. Make sure you're always respectful, you're helpful. Remind your spouse to go visit. Remind them to call. Half the time, the man himself is not calling his parents, but they're blaming the wife. How? But this happens all the time. If you've experienced it, please tell me now. Mods babe, how are you doing? I know who you are now. Mods babe. Okay, so many times you're thinking, yes, the truth is that you've done nothing wrong. Your very existence in their son's life is the problem. And there's nothing you can do about that because you're not going anywhere. Do we get that? You're on 60. This is 60 Minutes with PD. Please follow me right here at PIIDEA19. Let's do relationships together. Please fill my contact form in my bio for free confidential counseling. Okay? Please send us your testimonials and follow me on YouTube and DM me if you have any questions. Yes. These parents have struggled to raise this is the thing here. These parents have struggled to raise their son at great sacrifice. They've lavished all their love on him, spent all their money on him, carried him to hospital, carried him to school, bonded with him at all levels, all his life. Then out of the blues, this son brings this total stranger that he has only known for a short while. So this is a picture. Like the parent has done so much for the child, carried the child to school, everything, spent money, and they've raised this young man or girl or lady to this point. And then he brings home this woman and says, Mommy, meet, Titi, Kemi, Shade, whatever. I love her. And Mommy's like, huh? You love who? Huh? And she's thinking ahead, you mean I'm going to lose my son? I'm going to lose everything I've invested in my son. And that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. That mindset, like, what? So you're going to desert. Like, it's almost as if it's a divorce. It's like, you are going to desert me for this young lady that you have just met. But the truth is that, a man shall leave his father and his mother and go and be joined with his wife. And that's the way of life. Children go up, they get married, they become one with their spouses, and they go away to create their own lives. That's just how it is. And no matter how much we try, we can't change that. Okay. Mom, who is a victim of this same thing, is having issues, turned out same, but I've given her my boundaries. Yes. It's always good to be proactive. Proactive is good. Then after the blues, yes. Now, he now brings her and says, Mom, I love her. It's like, in this parent's eyes, it's almost like betrayal of some sort. It's like they've lost their son to a stranger. So that's what's going on in their head. That's what's going on in their head, behind the smile. Most times, you're introduced and they're smiling, but behind that smile, they're thinking, you mean this girl has come to take him away from us forever? Not everybody thinks like that, but some people think like that. This is the bad in-law mindset. Like all mindsets, it's an option. Now listen real close, because it's a choice. Every mindset of ours is an opinion. You see, it's a choice. Whatever you have in your mind, you chose to believe it. And because you chose to believe it, you can choose to believe something else. So if there are any in-laws there and prospective in-laws that we are all going to be one day, let's choose to believe that these people, this person that our kids bring in, they are becoming part of the family. Let's embrace them. Let's treat them fairly and with love. And let's be good in-laws. Let's choose to have a good in-law mentality. This person, our children's spouses, they are an addition to our families. They did not come to take away our children. So we are not competing with them. Anytime you feel fear, it's a choice. Did you get that? Anytime you feel fear, it's a choice. You always have the opportunity to choose something better. Always choose faith over fear. Now, this is the good in-law mindset. This is the mindset. My child that I love so much has found somebody that they love. Thank God. Now I can love on two people instead of one. I have not lost my child to this person. I have actually gained an additional child that I did not have to suffer for or carry for 9 months in my belly. I didn't have to push and get torn to deliver. I didn't have to go through morning sickness or fatigue for this child. And now this child is mine. So if you look at this person that your child has brought in as their spouse, as an addition to your family, and it's a blessing, then you are going to love them, you will embrace them, and you won't compete with them. Actually, the love that you've been lavishing on your son, you start to lavish it on your daughter as well. And this is the right mindset. We choose this mindset, So we need to, like, if you're listening, if you ever get to listening, no matter what, when, or how, know this. Choose to be a good in-law. Your child's spouse is an addition to your family. They did not come to take away your son or your daughter. Okay, did we get that? So like you're thinking, I have more than one child to love, and that's great. That's great. I am really, yes. So this is 60 Minutes with PD. Please follow me right here at PIIDI19. Please fill out my contact form and let's do life together. There are 4 types of parents that are more likely to default to having a bad in-law mindset. And I just want to discuss this 4. Did you just hear this? There are 4 categories of people that tend to default to a bad in-law mindset. Not all of them, but most of them. So you want to know this ahead of time. So as you move into this relationship, you can start to sense what to expect. And the first category is this: single mothers raising their sons by themselves. So the first category is single mothers raising their sons by themselves. If they're not careful, they'll fall into the bad in-law mindset. And in 1 minute, I'm going to explain. Number 2, married mothers whose husbands are physically present but emotionally absent. Okay? So single mother, not single, married mother, but the husband is physically present but emotionally absent. Watch out, because there could be a problem right there. And 3 is very rich parents. There could be a problem right there. And worst of all, a combination of the 2, which is a rich single mother with an only son. A rich single mother with an only son will most likely default to try to control her son if you marry him. That's a fact. Now let's break it down and see what's going on here. Okay, single mothers raising their children by themselves, usually, most of them, start to depend on their sons for emotional support, even from an early age. And this happens a lot where there is emotional support that's supposed to come from a husband. But in the absence of the husband, then it's just instinctive. The mother starts to depend on the son for emotional support, depend on the son to lavish her love and attention. And the type of love and attention that you lavish a child is different from the type of love and attention that you lavish on a husband. Okay? But many times I've seen parents lavish everything, the 2 types, on their children. And I know this because I've experienced this, where because dad is not emotionally available, she just loves you like a husband. It's like my love, and you enjoy it, but it's not healthy, because sooner or later, something's going to happen, and you're going to discover that this bond and attention that you're getting is going to cause problems for your spouse, which it did. Am I talking to anybody? Do we understand this? Did I speak too fast? I talk very fast. Did we get this? So be careful. If you're a single mother, find somebody else that you depend on for emotional support. Okay? Somebody else that you're giving some degree of attention to, apart from your son. If you give all to your son, which you most likely will want to do, it will cause problems in future. Because the day he finally brings his wife, you will not even know why you don't like her. You yourself will not even know why you detest her, and why you just can't help but dislike her. But it's because you've invested undue attention and love on your son, and now that he's taking his away from you to give it to another person, you just don't want to take it. It's it's a hard pill to swallow. Is anybody talking? Is anybody listening? Is anybody out there? Talk to me, people. Talk to me, people. We understand. You've mentioned this. Okay, fantastic. Good. Okay. So let's start to just understand this. And it's been done unintentionally. Like for the single mothers, it's been done unintentionally. The bond between mother and child is beyond that of a mother and child. The child is supplying a need of the mother that is beyond that of a son. The love, attention, companionship. Many times, single mothers depend on their sons for companionship. So when somebody else comes and takes them away, it's a problem. Emotional And, all the needs of the mother, non-sexual needs of the mother, are supplied by the son. So when the son brings his new love home, there is sure to be some conflict. I've heard single mothers tell 10-year-old sons never to allow anybody come between them. In the mind of that boy, so young, a time bomb has been set there waiting for some person to come in. So that's one category to watch out for. Second category is married mothers whose husbands are physically present but are emotionally absent. It's the same thing. Because the father is emotionally absent, then she is depending on this young boy for everything. So when he goes off with some girl and brings her home, there is going to be a problem. And I'll say this because it's interesting. When I was growing up, my mom was like the best mom ever. It was the best mom. She just was the best. She took care of me. She doted over me. I was like her everything, and I really enjoyed it. And when I was about to get married, I looked forward to introduce her to my wife. God bless her soul. And to my surprise, it shocked me that this mother I knew forever as a really nice person, just did not get along with my wife. She just did not get along with my wife. And to be quite frank, it took years to get her to just calm down. Like nothing she did was okay. At some point, she'd ask her to do things that I know that she wasn't asking my sisters to do. And that's one thing too that I want to tell you, that don't allow your parents to get your wife to do things that they wouldn't ask your sisters to do. If they do that, then you need to stand up for your wife and say, Mom, Dad, you don't tell this XYZ to do these kind of things. So why are you telling my wife? Why are you demanding from her these things that you're not demanding from my sisters? And guys out there, watch out for this, because you'll be surprised how parents react when you bring people home. And I was shocked. And the key there is this: you've got to speak up. You've got to speak up. You can't see your parents mistreating your wife and then you keep quiet. Because you are a son, then you have no voice. No, if you are mature enough to marry and have a wife, then you are mature enough to stand up for her. Because there are times when we take our sonship role where I'm a son, so I can't do anything, while my parents terrorize my wife. You can't do that. Once you decide to get married, then you have freed yourself from those restrictions. You must be able to talk and defend your spouse. Am I talking to anybody? This is, the topic here is in-law business. So we're talking about everything about in-laws. So this is the same thing. Number 4, first of all, a rich single mother raising her only son. Of course, she has the money. Okay, no, I think I haven't done the rich parents. Number 3 are the rich parents. Most times, rich parents tend to use their money to control their kids. And most times, because the kids enjoy the lifestyle that they are able to live off their parents' finances, they tend to dance to their parents' tune. And now when they're married, the parents use this influence to come into the marriage and start to make decisions that could cause division or even divorce. So you've got to be able, if your parents are rich, when you get married, you've got to set up your mind that, me and my spouse, we are going to live on what we can afford. If my parent blesses us, it's great. We'll take it. We'll divide it. But we won't have to depend on it, so that we won't have to do what we don't want to do as a family. So that's really important. Where set up your mind. If you allow yourself to want to live the lifestyle that your parents could afford you, then your parents will always control you, and that's not a good thing. Okay? Did we get that? Did I explain that well enough? Yep. Chinyere is really following. Wow. I should speak up. Can you hear me, people? Can you hear me? If you can't hear me, I can do something right now. Can you hear me on Instagram? Okay, if that's the case. Hear me now? Okay, good. Fantastic. Now, 4. Now, if the mother is rich and she's single, raising her only son, of course you know that you're going to struggle with that boy, because she's going to use money to control him, and she's going to want him to be there. Hey, Ami Qatar, how are you? Now, if your parents fall within the 2 types of in-laws I mentioned, there are things that you can do to get things on a good footing. If your mom is a single mom or married, but your dad is not emotionally available to her. You have to stand up to your mom consistently in support of your wife. You have to do this. Your wife cannot speak up for herself to your mom or parents. You have to man up and speak up on her behalf. Do not let your mom send your wife tasks that she would not send your sisters. Don't allow your parents to treat your wife in any way less than how they will treat your sisters. I saw this happen and I had to speak up and take my wife out of this situation. You must always paint the best picture of your spouse to your parents. Never go home and badmouth your spouse. Never do that. It will always have a bad result. Just know this. You don't go and tell your parents negative things about your spouse, no matter how nice your parents are. Because when you and your spouse settle, they won't be there. They won't be there. So they'll never settle with your spouse. So they'll just continue to dislike them more and more and more till they get to a point where they can't stand them and they'll give you bad advice about them. So don't go reporting your spouse to your parents. Just never do that. Okay. Yes. If your parents are very rich, you must set your mind to live according to your income as a family. If your husband cannot afford the lifestyle your parents gave you, then you need to adjust to what your husband can do now. Don't forget, your parents are older, they've had more time to accumulate their money. Give your husband time and support, and he'll do just as well. If your parents wants to give you money, let them give it to both of you, and stop going back to your parents to ask for money. Manage yourselves with what you have and what your husband can provide. Each time you go back to your parents for money, they are going to control you even more so. You must let your husband still have final say. Even when your parents give you money, you've got to let your husband have final say over what you do with it. Okay, some parents are really good at using money to divide their parents. Okay. I hear you. Okay, now let's deal with some specific in-law situations. Any questions, people? Any questions? Specific in-law situations. Okay. Tell your child's spouse when you are coming, and yes, in-laws, please tell your children when you're coming. From the survey that we did, people want in-laws to tell them when they're coming, tell them how long you're staying, tell them when you're leaving. Don't be offended, and please don't come too often. I'm not talking to anybody, Yeah, somebody says, it's like they come too often. So stop checking up on your children, and please just let them do their own thing. It's okay for them to make mistakes. See, I understand that you don't want them to make mistakes, and that's great. You love them. But apart from suggesting things to them and just directing them softly, don't try to make it happen. That becomes manipulation. When you just try to go to your son's house or your daughter's house and try to make them do something that you believe they should do. Suggest it to them and walk away. But don't try to do it or make them do it. It becomes manipulation and they don't like it. Okay? And it's interesting when in-laws come and you ask, Mom, when are you leaving? Sometimes they get very offended. But don't get offended. It's just good for planning. Are you here for 1 week or 2 days? Just let us know so we'll know what to do. So So let's not take it personal. And for everybody listening, one day you're going to be an in-law. Know that one day, soon you'll be an in-law. So all these things that you're learning, make sure you practice them. There's a generation of in-laws that we are raising. Obviously you. Okay, so when it's your turn, do the right thing. Fantastic. So don't visit too often. Let your visits be short. And tell them, I am coming on this date. And on this day, I am leaving. Don't just come and they're afraid to ask you when are you leaving. And they don't know when you're leaving. And everybody's like, Mommy's in town. No, tell them. Very good. I can remember a time, long time ago, my daughter asked my mom when she was leaving. And my mom just assumed that my wife sent her, which wasn't true. And that caused some kind of ruckus. Just because, and it wasn't necessary. So these things happen. I know what I'm talking about. Okay. Also, in-laws, don't always take your child's side on every matter. There's some in-laws that even if your child is misbehaving, you just support them. It's not really healthy. Your daughter or son-in-law has got to see you as a fair person. So like if your child is doing the wrong thing, it's good for them to see you tell your child off and say, no, guy, you can't treat your wife like this, or you can't treat your daughter like this. And then you are seen as a fair parent, and then they can embrace you as a parent. But if each time you come, you just support your child, no matter what, you just support your child, you are causing division in the family. You know, no matter how much you love them, your action is causing division. You are splitting your children up. So you've got to, as an in-law, be fair. If your child is on the wrong, tell them, you know, guy, you are wrong. Don't do this. Go and apologize and make up for it. Okay? This is how to. This is what works. This is what works. Chigere, this works. Trust me. Everything I'm telling you, you know, is tried and tested. It works. It says Hado. Yes. You know, but the result is good. The result is good. You're going to enjoy your marriages. You're going to just really enjoy your marriages. Okay, so where was I? So in-laws don't visit too often. Tell them when you're coming. Don't take your child's side. Be intentional. In-laws should be now. In-laws should not be inquisitive and judgmental. See, as an in-law, don't go and poke your nose into all their business and then start to judge and just condemn. You know, don't do that. You see, and I'll tell you one thing. Every in-law with a bad mindset has had experiences with in-laws with a bad mindset. So if you know that you did not like it when it was done to you, why are you doing it to these young people today? And that's the truth. Everybody that's been today a bad in-law, they've had in-laws treat them bad. So I wish we would learn, like, if it hurts you, then it's hurting them. And you don't need to pass on the hurt. I know that hurt people, but you can break the cycle. So be a good in-law. Am I talking to anybody? So, so no matter how much you love your son, when he marries somebody and doesn't have time for you, embrace it. Embrace it. It's just the systems of life. You know, that's what happens. Fantastic. Okay. Some traditions insist that you must have a son. Please, we need to do away with these traditions. You know, yes. And because there's no son, then the in-laws are just like so much pressure just because you don't have a son. It's just not a very reasonable thing. Because to be quite frank, daughters take care of their parents more than sons. Sons just fly and go. You know, they just go. Daughters are the ones that come back. They ask after you. They ask how you're doing. Most daughters, how you're doing, how things are going. But so let's value our daughters, and let's not put people under undue pressure because they don't have a son yet. They will have a son. Relax. No pressure. Am I talking to anybody? Is anybody listening to me? Okay. So let's talk about after the baby and the mother-in-law comes to take care of the baby. Yes, this is Omugo. Okay. Now, you know how you've carried this baby for 9 months in your stomach. You know, you're bent backwards. You've gone through a lot. And then now it's time to have the baby. And guys, you know, if you're a guy out there and you haven't watched a woman have a baby, you haven't started yet. You know, I've watched at least two of my children being born. And it's traumatic. You could go into depression. You have to, but there's respect. You come out having a new respect for women. So now this nice lady, she's had the baby and she's home today, and mother-in-law has come. And guess what? Mother-in-law has come to take care of the baby. She comes in, she takes charge of the baby and start to look to this poor lady for food and for keeping the house and taking care of her. This lady that just had the baby yesterday. And this happens. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it does. It should not happen. It shouldn't happen. If you've come to take care of your daughter-in-law, then take care of her and the baby. Give her time to recuperate, to get back to herself before you can start to demand those things. But we've seen where parents come and they're demanding on this person that just had the baby. It is not acceptable. It should not be done. So if you are a husband and you see your mother making these demands of your wife who just had a baby, please speak up. Don't be quiet. It's like, mommy, don't you realize she just had a baby? You've had babies before. How did you feel? Would you want to be running up and down trying to make food for, you just wouldn't want to do that. So talk to your parents. This in-law matter issue, it's so important that the children talk to their parents. If you're the wife and your parents are doing something wrong, step up and tell them, Daddy, Mommy, you can't do this. Okay? And if you are the son and your parents are doing something that they shouldn't, it's like, Mom, this thing you're doing is not acceptable. It's not nice. Just step up and take care of it. And that's really important. Okay? I mean, it's like wickedness, It's like this person, she's been pushing and pushing and pushing. She's almost died. She's come back, and now you ask her to go boil water and do this and that because you're here. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. You're better off staying at home, and let somebody else come take care of the baby than you coming with that expectation that this new mother is going to take care of you. Okay, so please play them this recording. Let them hear it. Okay. Yes. Couples should be transparent about giving money to their parents. And this too happened to me because I can remember when I first got married, my mom called me and said, don't tell your wife, when you give me money or how much you give me. I said, yes, Mommy, but of course I told her. But so what I'm telling you is real. There are parents who, because they've had a close relationship with you personally, now that you've brought in this person that's your wife, they still want to maintain that private kind of thing. It's not allowed. See, you become one flesh with your wife. You and your wife are one. And you've got to see, you have to prove it to others. If you allow even your parents to divide you, it's going to eventually become a bigger problem. Seriously. I can remember that it took years and years and years. But one day, my mom looked at me and said, she saw me by myself. I said, well, you are the snail. Where's your shell? Because wherever the snail goes, there's a shell. I said, yes, my shell is downstairs. She's coming upstairs. It's like, at that point, I could see that she just gave up. Like, you know what? There's nothing else I can do. This man and this woman, there's just nothing. And that's how it's going to be. Sometimes you've got to fight for years, but eventually you'll get there and they'll finally accept you that, this woman is part of my son's life and part of mine. And there's nothing I can do. I have tried everything, but she's still here. And the only reason why she's here is because your son, my son, has fought for her. So I'm talking to the men out there. If you have a parent with a bad in-law mindset, you've got to fight for your wife. You've got to be her voice consistently, even with your siblings. Because in a minute, I'll tell you some weird thing that happened between my mom and my siblings and my wife at that time. God bless her soul. Okay, so do you just get that? Where was I? Yes. Okay, I'll tell you, this was a really weird situation. I went out. I was ill. I was not feeling too great, but I did not go to the hospital. Not because, my wife wanted me to go, but I just refused to go. You know how men are. Men don't always go to the hospital, So I didn't go. And I went out. And by the time I came back, my sister and my mom, who really didn't like my wife a lot, had gone to my house. And they had harassed her big time. If I say big time, they had just harassed her big time. They barely stopped her, just beating her up. And the reason was because they said she did not take care of me, and that's why I was ill, and she did not take me to the hospital. Grown-up man like myself that refused to go, I refused to go to the hospital, and they were upset. Now it put me in a weird situation where they did this out of love, okay, but they offended somebody who I love. So if I took them on very strongly, they'll say, well, we did it because we love you. But at the same time, they had offended somebody I love. So it puts you in an awkward situation. And if you're out there and you've been married long enough, you may have experienced this. But the key is this: you've got to speak up, no matter how awkward it might be. Even though they say, well, we did it because we love you, that's why we went to harass your wife. No, it's like, Mom, sis, that's just not what you should have done. You should have called me. You should have called me first and let me explain to you what happened. You can't just go and attack my wife because you say you love me. Because if you attack my wife, you've attacked me as well. So let's start to like. So it's really, really weird, but it happens. Is there anybody who's had an experience that's similar to this? But there are times when people do things to you that they shouldn't, but they under the guise that they love you, then they now do something to your wife that they shouldn't. Do you just get that? So let me see. True talk. This is Chinwe speaking, but reality women ain't so valued as male children. But you see, let's be the generation that changes that. Seriously speaking, let's be the generation that values our women, value our females. It's really important. Don't care if they're here or not. Yes. I just want to read a few questions here before I press. Traditions. We should move away from traditions that aren't really relevant anymore these days. You cannot completely blame them for what is this? It's wickedness. Yes, it's wickedness. I completely agree with you. I don't care who the blame should be on. Their opinion isn't needed, simply vice versa. My parents won't disrespect my partner. That is good. And see, and that's what I said from the very beginning, that there are parents who have a good mindset. Your wife or your husband is a part of the family, and they do everything possible to absorb them in as a part of the family. And that's the best kind of in-law that you could ever have. So fantastic. That is why you need to be matured mentally, fit before you get married. That is true. Because there are times, see, once you marry, you are the head of a household. That whole household, your wife, your children, everybody, they are dependent on you to make decisions, dependent on you for protection and love. I mean, one of the main things that a father provides in a house is provision, protection, and love. In fact, the three main things that you provide is protection, is provision, and love. So if any member of the family is under attack, you have a responsibility to defend them. And that attack could be from anybody, even from your parents. It's your responsibility to defend them. You know, and that's who you are as a husband. So that's really important. They feel your wife is not, this is what I was, they feel your wife is not approved of. Yes. I love that mature mentality fit. That is true. Say men, oh yes, men have a responsibility. Fab Jim says, tell them, men, please be going to the hospital, which is true. Like really, if you get the opportunity, you should watch your wife give birth to some of your children. It will completely give you a new mindset. It will renew your mindset. You know, you will respect women. See, I can't bear this issue at all, God forbid. Okay. Yes, the point, they don't just like her, so they'll seize an opportunity to cast her out. Yeah, and that's true. Like, no matter how your parents feel about your spouse, once they are your spouse, you've got to defend them. I mean, that's what works. You can't just stand by and say, well, I'm a son, a daughter, these are my parents, and I'm helpless, I can't do anything. If you have that mindset, then you shouldn't bring you shouldn't bring somebody into the family. If you are able to bring a person into the family, you've got to be able to defend them, okay? To some extent, try to understand mother-in-laws, but what's the business with sister-in-laws? They should go and marry or concentrate on their husbands. But this happens a lot. If you've had any sister-in-law issues, please just say something. You really won't blame these mothers. They had absent husbands, which is true. So their son's wife is a husband snatcher. That is amazing. Who said that? Who said that? Was that Vera Wills? Yeah. So they are seeing this wife as a husband snatcher because their son is a husband in their eyes. That is an amazing revelation right there. That's amazing. Okay, so let's keep going. Yes, like I said, if this is your sisters and your mom attacks your wife, you know, it's weird because you're caught in between. They claim what they're doing is because they love you, but they have abused and almost beat up the wife that you love. If you tell them off, they'll say it's not your fault. Is it not you they were fighting for? You ungrateful son or brother? If you don't tell them off, your wife will look at you like, will you not defend me? So what do? You've got to defend her. You can't stay neutral. Tell off your sisters and mother. You are the head of your household. If they have a problem with your wife, they have to take it up with you. You will deal with your wife. And that's true. You deal with your wife. Don't allow anybody to go and deal with your wife. If anybody has a problem with your wife, they should come to you. If your wife needs to be dealt with, you do it, not them. Do not allow anybody, friend, mother, wife, brother, sister, to ever go to bypass you and go start to deal with your wife. That's not something you should ever allow. Okay? So, yes. You can't stay neutral. Tell it yes. Your mother and your sisters do not have the authority to come into your home to deal with your wife. Some in-laws, now this is another in-law issue. Some in-laws, they lie and they cover up their son's past or their son's abusive nature. This is normal. This happens a lot. If you meet a man, try your best to open your eyes out, see what the red flags are. Most people see the red flags. That I see all the time. But most people do not understand, what the red flags will mean in future. They don't know the implications of the red flag. So they see the red flag, they ignore the red flag, they get into the marriage and start to see things happening. Okay? So you want to make sure that you look well. Most parents will not tell you what their son has done in the past or what they know their son has the potential of doing to you. That could be negative. Most parents won't. I mean, if there's any parent here, and for all of us who are parents, parents and parents to be, please be one, try speaking to talk to your children and advise them. And when they do marry, tell the spouse that this and this and this, they need to look out for these things. Prepare them for what's ahead so that they don't get shocked. Many times there are parents who just cover things up and package up their children and just give them to you. And then after you're married, you just discover that, wow, look at who I've married. But the parents knew. The parents knew all the time. So, let's avoid that. I've seen that happen quite a few times. So some in-laws are looking for some unsuspecting girl to take their son off their hands. So they encourage you and don't tell you anything. This is not fair at all. Train your child well. Let her know what she's getting into so she can be prepared. Look out for red flags. The problem I have seen is that most people, is that they see the flags, but they don't realize what problem is associated with that flag. The problem is usually knowing the implications of the red flag. Please, I have a recording called Red Flags. It's on my IGTV. Go and watch it. This is 60 Minutes with PD. Please follow me right here at PIIDI19. Let's do relationships together. Follow me. Please fill my contact form in my bio for free confidential counseling. And follow me on YouTube and on Facebook. Someone said, this is from one of my followers, said to in-laws, stop coming to my house and allow me run my home myself. And this is so true. So here there's a cry out. It's people stop coming to my house so often, then let me run my house. Don't if you're an in-law to be, don't attempt to run your son's house. Don't do that. Their house won't be run like yours because they just started out. They don't have the experience. They don't have the resources. They will make some mistakes. Advise them, but let them be. Let their growth be organic. Let them make their own mistakes. Let them learn some things. Let them find their way. But don't be so involved like you're trying to live life through them. Sometimes we have parents who want to live their life through their children's lives, and that just doesn't work. You've just got to let your children live. They'll make mistakes that, if you've told them that, this is not the way to go, and they do it, then experience will teach them. Experience is never the best teacher, like people say, but if that's the way they want to go, let them, and it's okay. They won't die. Okay. So, Mom, you've had your opportunity to take care of your son. Now he's my husband. Please allow me to take care of him my way. This is from one of us here on the platform. It says, Mom, you've had your opportunity to take care of your son. Okay? Now he's my husband. Please allow me to take care of him my way. He's not complaining. And that's true. Many times you see mothers that say, well, this is what my son likes. This is what he does. This is what he will like. And then she's trying to just teach you about her son. And let's not do that. When they found themselves, you weren't there. When they did whatever, you weren't there. So don't try to be there now and just be there all in this time. It's not necessary. They're doing okay. Okay? In-laws, some people are blessed with good in-laws. Yes, some people are blessed with amazing in-laws. And that's great. Enjoy them. In-laws should stop pressurizing their children to have kids. There are some in-laws that just, it's like you got married 2 weeks ago. And your mother calls you and says, is there anything? And you think, what? Because what do you expect to be happening? It's just 2 weeks. But it sounds crazy, but it happens. Where you've been married 2 weeks. And your mother is calling anything. 1 month is anything. 2 months, anything. It's too much pressure. It's just too much pressure. Please tell your husband to tell his mother to stop calling you and put you under that much pressure. The pressure alone is bad. It has bad results. So let's not do that where there's just so much. And in this day and age, there's a lot of pressure. You only just got married. Why are you so enjoy yourselves first before you have children. Children are work. That's just the truth. They are lovely, they are adorable, but they are work, and they're work that doesn't get shut down. It's a switch that switches on and doesn't go off. So once you had this baby, it's like baby's just gonna be on all the time for years. So take your time, enjoy yourselves, get to know yourselves, especially if you're coming from a long distance relationship. It's been long distance, you haven't spent time with yourselves, you now get married, and in 3 months you're pregnant. That's a bad plan. Because you will there are areas of marriage that you will never experience because you just did that. Because there's some things that you can do with your husband, that when the baby comes, it's difficult to do these things because the baby is there and the baby always needs attention. Okay? So do you just get that? So yes. It's not easy. Babies come home, they stay. Yes. Never abuse. Now this is something else too. No matter how much your husband is abusing his mother or his father, do not join him in that endeavor. Don't. Or don't ever by yourself, you're upset. And then, true, your mother-in-law did something horrible to you, and then you abuse her in front of her child. Don't do that. Because it's just not going to work. It's just something that it's just wisdom. You just don't do that. His mom could have been like a devil himself, but complain to him in good words, be descriptive, but don't abuse his parents to him, in front of him. It just doesn't go down well. Am I talking to anybody? And vice versa too. Like you don't start to abuse your wife's parents to her. You just don't do that. Don't abuse parents. Don't be always even in the absence of the parents, always be respectful about parents to each other. It is something, it's just a rule that you want to learn. It is very, very, very important that you just don't do that. Okay? You just never abuse. To get difficult in-laws on your side, it's like this. Now that you know the mindset of the bad in-law mindset, it's a mindset that they see you as trying to take away their son, you're trying to reduce how much he gives them, you're here to reduce the attention that he gives them. Now, you will find that in-laws can be very difficult, they're hard to communicate with, they're hard to reach and embrace. Now, the key is this, because you know what their fears are, because what's behind the bad in-law mindset is fear. It's a fear of what you've come to do to them. It's a fear of loss. They're afraid of losing the time with their son, losing the attention from the son, losing the connection with the son. It's a fear. So everything you do to allay that fear brings you closer. So first thing is you make sure that you're the one telling him to ask for his mother, ask for his parents, tell him to go visit them. In fact, there are times when you will just package in, both of you just go there and say, Mommy, we came to greet you, and you stay there. Never go empty-handed. Take something with you. Make sure that when it's time to give your parents money, be transparent. Encourage him. Whatever he gives his parents, he gives yours, and encourage both of you to do it together all the time. And he should stop packaging money by himself to his mom or his parents. When money is brought, it should be from both of you. Sometimes might even be the one giving them the money. Some parents will be offended that if you give them money, but still. But let them realize that this money is from the two of you. And that let them realize that you are active in getting him to come home and ask after them. You're active in him bonding with the family and attending whatever family meetings that there are. There are ways that you will be seen visibly as this partner of their son who is bringing him home more often. It's good when a parent realizes that ever since he got married, he's more consistent with giving them money. He's more consistent with coming home. He's more consistent with calling, or he's increased the number of times that he's calling. It's very important that you do this. No matter and you do this unconditionally. Even though they've treated you badly, they've treated you unfairly, don't pull back. Most times the natural response to being treated badly is to pull back. But in this situation, it's a family situation. You're married to this man. You said, you'll be with him till death do you part. It's a lifelong commitment, covenant between you and him. So you don't pull back. These parents are going to be in your lives till they die. So you want to make sure that even though they treat you bad, you still package your husband and you bring him to them. You bring him to them, make sure that they're connected, make sure that you're doing all of these things. And if you do all of these things, you are going to see that they will eventually embrace you. Like I said, these things that we do is like planting a seed. It takes time to enjoy the harvest. So don't expect that because you did this for a week or two, that mom-in-law is just going to change overnight and just embrace you and just like love you it may not happen that quickly. But I guarantee you, if you continue to do that, eventually they are going to come around. You just get that. And that's how you bridge the gap. That's how you communicate with them. Because somebody did ask, how do I communicate with my in-laws? Just let them see that you are bringing their child to them. Let them see that you are strengthening their connection with their son, their child. Because most times the parent is thinking she's just going to take him away. There'll be less time for us, less money for us. It's a negative. They're assuming the negative that has not yet happened, and that's fear. So that's what's happening. It's fear, and you fight the fear, and then it's gone. Yes, tell your fellow men. Yes, yes, we have to speak up for our wives and our girlfriends. We have to speak up. Chinyere says, who would tell? Well, what is she talking about? Ebere, how are you? It behoves on the men to put their mother and siblings in their right place. And that is so true, Ebere. That is so true. And I'm happy that I'm doing this. So for all the men that are out here, know this. Being a husband is more than just providing and just being there. As a husband, you've got to be involved in the relationship of your parents and your wife. And when it's not going the right way, you've got to be active to step in and start to direct things in the right direction. It's very, very important. You can't sit on the fence. And what happens with most men is this. It's like, it's my mother. How do I talk to her? It's my father. He's like a king. How do I talk to him? But the thing is this. You are the king of your own household. Nobody has the authority to come into your household and start to deal with people under your protection. It's just not allowed. So you got to man up, one day, like you said, daddy, mom, I want to get married. So you got to man up. Now that you're married, like dad, mom, you can't treat her this way. You're not treating my sister like this. You're not doing her like this. Why does she deserve this lower treatment if she's a child, a daughter of yours as well? That's amazing. Ebere, good to see you. It's been a while. When they have been looking for who to take them away. Now, Chia, what are you talking about? When they have been looking for who to take them away. Chia, when they have been looking for someone. Okay, people, how do you know you cannot curtail? How do you know you cannot curtail a red flag? Now, red flags come in different categories. You've got to watch and listen to my recording on red flags. It's on my IGTV. And now, not all red flags mean you bail out. Some red flags, you slow down. Some red flags, you get the person to go through some mindset, change, transformation. Some red flags that you see, you just got to leave. It's like if this person is at this stage, this is how they're thinking and behaving, there's no way I can do life with this person forever. And then it's like, you know what, I gotta go. And you go. But so you've got to learn about red flags. It's important. If you're not yet married, you've got to, if you don't know anything about red flags, you are in trouble. And I can tell you this too. One of the main issues with people just getting married is that we are dating with this mindset of not wanting to lose people. If you have a mindset that is not willing to lose people, you will end up with the wrong person. This thing I'm telling you, it's hard to explain. I have only 2 more minutes, so I'm going to go out in a few minutes. But it's like, if it's impossible for you to date and the first person that you date is the right person for you, it's barely possible. So most likely, you're going to run into a few people that you date that are not your husband, that are not the right people. And if you're a kind of person where you step up to date a person and you just want to stay, your mindset is not, you have a mindset that finds it difficult to lose people. You're gonna end up in trouble because you're gonna have to lose a few people before you find the right person.
So know this for sure. That as you do this journey, you've got to, you're like, dating is selecting. So you've got to be able to know what you're looking for, and when and if it's not the person, they go. If it's the right person, you hold, and everything's going to be okay. Am I talking to anybody? I think my time is up. I hear my music is playing. So guys, I love you. I love you. I really, really love you. And see you again next weekend. I hope you heard something tonight. I hope you're all going to be amazing in-laws when it's your time. And guys, if you're there, you know what to do. Do the right thing. Do it. So I'll see you later.